Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for a quick update on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is about to trap a lot of people which aren't seeing this pattern which is currently developing in the charts. Before we do talk about this pattern, before we talk about the next direction for Bitcoin, let's first of all do a super quick update in terms of the news. Yesterday we discussed how Powell's speech was coming, and obviously this was a very important day for the markets. This was Powell's first speech since the last FOMC pause. Basically Powell came out and reaffirmed that most policymakers are still anticipating 2 further rate hikes in 2023, which would put the interest rates up at around about 5.75%, a very sweet spot above the 2008 financial crisis, but just beneath where the interest rates were in the 2000 financial crisis. There we go. That's all I wanted to update you on in terms of the news. Make sure you do follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy so you can get this news in real time as it does come out in the market. So what is currently happening for Bitcoin? In the past 24 hours alone, we've added 2 further swing failure patterns on the chart. If you have been watching my content, you know we recently talked about this swing failure pattern all the way up at 31,400. This happened when we exceeded the previous yearly highs up at 31,000. Everyone was expecting a break above 31,000 and we rocketed all the way back down to 29.8. And since then, as you can see on the daily time frame, if we do zoom in, we have been making lower lows and lower highs, with today's rally back up to 30,800, hitting a critical downtrending line of resistance. So what is happening right now in the chart? Let's talk about it. Well, just after Powell's speech yesterday, the cryptocurrency markets took a huge nosedive to the downside, all the way down to 29,800. We'll discuss the DXY in a second, but for the past 2 days after Powell's speech, it did have a very, very nice rally back up to the upside. Now, if we are looking at what happened on Bitcoin, you can see we came down and we broke to the downside of this asymmetrical triangle. I was personally waiting for a confirmed retest of the neckline before talking about any confirmed breakdowns, and as you can see, we had a swing failure pattern. If you don't know, swing failure pattern, or SFP, is basically a failed move equals a fast move in the opposite direction. What has happened since then? We've reverted right up to the top, around about 30,800, where the asymmetrical triangle is, and you can see we reverted into the exact bottom of the resistance box, which we talked about in yesterday's video. This hasn't been amended or redrawn or anything since yesterday's video. You can see this was the previous wick up here at 30,850. We came exactly to this level, and we've started making once again another lower high on the 4-hour time frame within this asymmetrical triangle. However, on the 4-hour, we did try and push above the asymmetrical triangle, and literally as I'm recording this video, within the past few hours or so, we've just come to the downside, and it looks like we're starting to slide back down to the bottom of this pattern. So as swing failure patterns normally work, even if we're not expecting an immediate breakdown, we should be heading back down to the bottom of this pattern, hence the name SFP swing failure pattern, around about 30,200. Now, like I have been saying in my previous videos, I do think this week is going to be a little bit boring for Bitcoin. I'm still kind of expecting that towards the latter half of this week, maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours, things will really start to heat up. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that I do still believe the markets are getting prepped for a massive nuke to the downside. We're really waiting for that next move for Bitcoin though. Just like I posted over on Twitter, nothing is confirmed until we either break to the upside of 30,850 or break to the downside of 30,150. So in that regard, wake me up when one of these areas gets broken to the upside or the downside respectively. Until that happens, we are more or less just chopping sideways within this asymmetrical triangle, waiting for the next breakout. Once again, the bullish breakout, if we do manage to have that flip, is 30,700. The bearish breakdown is 28,400. Of course, I'll keep you up to date with what I think is developing on the 4-hour time frame. However, there is something that I've been noticing which has just played out. I was redrawing some of the trend lines of the asymmetrical triangles, looking at what levels we could have potentially bounced from, and here's what I just found over on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if we draw this trend line right here, what you can actually see has been developing is a left shoulder coming back down to the neckline, head coming back down to the neckline, right shoulder breakdown. What do we do then? We broke down and formed a new trend line right here, and we reverted literally in the past 48 hours. You may have noticed, you know, why are we having a big push to the upside? Now you're probably thinking, when this video is getting uploaded, why are we having a big push to the downside? This is exactly what happened. We reverted right up to this region, the neckline of the head and shoulders. This was basically a magnet, and we have just confirmed it as resistance. Well, it's on the 4-hour time frame. You know, maybe I'm jumping the gun on this one. We kind of need to wait a little bit, you know, within a few hours or so. If we're not pushing to the upside of 30,700 approximately, and we are just slowly starting to bleed out from 30,700, then this is an indicator, at least for me, that we could be heading down to the Head and Shoulders price target at 29,000. Of course, at that point, we'll be getting continuation down, we'll be breaking down from the asymmetrical triangle, and then at which point we could expect the price target on this 4-hour time frame on the asymmetrical triangle at 28,400. Like I said, nothing's really confirmed. I just wanted to give you a quick update today. Nothing has also changed in the macro time frame. If you want my analysis in a little bit more detail, we literally made a 17-minute long video on the markets yesterday. Nothing has dramatically changed. So for once, I'm actually here just letting you know what's happening in the lower time frames. Now, moving on to the DXY, if we come over to the daily time frame, you can see since Powell's speech yesterday, the DXY rushed up about 1%. That's a big move for the DXY. If we come over to the 4-hour time frame, what you can see is the 4-hour EMA ribbons have just fired bullish, and we are steadily, well, we just hit the neckline of the Head and Shoulders, so the DXY really needs to see continuation above 102.93 if we do want to see a bullish breakout of this inverse Head and Shoulders with a price target all the way up at 104.07. This could be approximately a further 1.25% rally to the upside for the DXY. On the daily time frame as well, if I clear this up, we are literally just underneath the 0.5 Fibonacci on this fib channel parallelogram. You can see we bounced on the 786, or more or less on the 786. We broke to the upside. When we came down to form the right shoulder, we held the 618 as support, and now we are approaching the 0.5 Fibonacci. If we do exceed this level, then we are basically above all the golden ratios right down here on our Fibonacci's that we do need to keep our eyes on, and at which point the DXY will probably take a tear to the upside. Equity markets could take a tear to the downside, and Bitcoin will follow the equity markets, of course. So once again, 4-hour time frame, EMA ribbons are firing bullish. On the daily time frame, the EMA ribbons are very, very close to firing bullish. So if we just keep on hanging around about 102.9, 102.8, etc., then the EMA ribbons can definitely have a bullish flip to the upside, and we can get a little bit more of a push up for the DXY. However, on the weekly time frame, we have just reverted up into the resistance of the weekly EMA ribbon. So we really, really need to get continuation at this point. It is looking quite nice for the DXY, how we've kind of come down, we've bounced all the way back up. When we did have that correction, we found support on the 786, and it's looking like, to me, this could be a potential W breakout playing out over on the DXY right now. There's a lot of things going on in my chart, so if I just draw it like this, you can see this could be a potential W breakout, but we really, really need to get above 103.07 if we do want continuation. And like I said, on the 4-hour time frame as well, it's imperative to get above 102.9 if you do want to see that break of the Head and Shoulders, at which point we can get continuation, we can see a daily EMA ribbon flip, and we can get above that resistance which is plaguing us over on the DXY. In terms of the total cryptocurrency market cap, there's not too much to update since yesterday's video. On the daily time frame, we are making lower highs from yesterday, the day before, etc. On the weekly time frame, you can still see we are having this red doji candle resistance, and this may just be a big Head and Shoulders pattern which is playing out. There's a little bit more of an update though over on the total altcoin market cap. The total altcoin market saw a little bit of a push up today, 1.25%. We are still underneath the 200 week, we're still underneath the bull market support bands, we're still underneath the weekly EMA ribbon. So on the weekly time frame, there's nothing to update. However, on the daily time frame, look at this with yesterday's breakdown. Should I start with? So yesterday we had Powell's speech. Altcoins got absolutely decimated, with the total altcoin market cap breaking down about 4.27%, and then we had a rally back up to the upside, 4.09%, making lower highs from yesterday on Powell's speech. But here's where things are interesting. On the EMA ribbons, you can see we broke beneath the daily EMA ribbons. We had a bearish engulfing candle, and right now we are retesting yesterday's support, which was the daily EMA ribbons, and we're retesting them as resistance. On the 4-hour time frame as well, if we come over to the total altcoin market, you can see we broke underneath the 4-hour EMA ribbons, and once again, yesterday's support, we're pretty much at the same level as yesterday, but yesterday's support has flipped as today's resistance. The EMA ribbons on the 4-hour for the altcoin market is is getting extremely tight, and if we do solidify a rejection from here, expect the 4-hour EMA ribbons to flip bearish, expect a bearish retest on the daily EMA ribbons, expect for all of these resistances over on the weekly time frame to really solidify as resistance as altcoins get absolutely decimated. So my thoughts haven't changed. I still think the markets are prepping for a nuke. I think Bitcoin is going to chop quite a lot of people out of the markets in the next 24 to 48 hours, as they have done in the past 24 hours anyway. In terms of altcoins though, this is really looking like the last leg before a BART pattern coming down to 514 billion. I really think the total altcoin market could drop about 5.63% in the next week or so. I think altcoins are going to continue getting absolutely decimated. So that's all I've got for today, my friends. Make sure you are keeping your eyes on these different charts. Make sure you're not getting trapped. Nothing is confirmed until Bitcoin either breaks above 30,850 or it breaks to the downside of 30,180. For the past 8 days, we've literally been the same price. So pretty much wake me up once we break one of these levels, with volume confirming the breakdown, with a breakdown and a retest. This is what I'm looking for. For today, my friends, that's all I've got. If you do enjoy the content, make sure to let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment, share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button on YouTube and become a member today. Follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.